What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Beasley. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. Me personally, I'm just taking everything day by day. As I said in my last video, I am currently unemployed, and I'm really just trying to kind of just hang in there, stay motivated, and push through the ups and downs. Before I recorded this video, I was doing some studying because I'm currently trying to get my MBA. I have about 5 or 6 classes left, but to be honest, with all the shit that's going on, I am just completely not focused on school right now. I honestly regret even signing up for another class this semester, but I have about at least 5 or 6 classes left, so I'm gonna just keep on pushing through and staying on track. But today I wanted to come to you guys and talk to and really expound upon my general thoughts about the current state of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and basically go cast member by cast member and assess how I personally feel about them and do they need to stay or do they need to go. Now, I will say I don't really have I'm not really a huge fan of any of the ladies at the moment because, quite frankly, I'm kind of burnt out on all of them. Let's be real, even Tanya, to be honest. They all really, in my opinion, have greatly overstayed their welcome. And I just want to kind of talk about each cast member, starting with least relevant to most relevant, and really assessing their worth and what they bring to the show and where they can go moving forward. So, getting into this, I want to start with the least relevant, and that's going to be Eva Marcel Pig-Headed Sterling. Now, Eva, as I said before, beautiful girl, but all she brings to this show is her hazel eyes. Now, granted, in my opinion, I feel like Bravo brought her in to replace Cynthia because at that point, Cynthia was kind of like, a one trick pony, never really stood up for herself, and was mainly like Nene's sidekick. So they wanted to bring in another model girl to kind of get shit cracking. And if you saw Eva back on America's Next Top Model, you knew Eva the Diva could come out at any moment and she would be able to shade a bitch. But ever since she's been on this show, it's kind of like she is just really coasted by on the fact that, like, I'm the most successful woman to come from America's Next Top Model and I'm still a relevant model today, which is true. But at the same time, Eva, this is reality TV. You need to know that you need to bring something. Like, honestly, y'all, her being pregnant is just, I feel like that was the one ticket to get her off of the show. Because when you're a pregnant woman on reality TV, you're not really going to get involved in too much mess. And you're not really going to be here for the bullshit. But at the same time, Monique on The Real Housewives of Potomac, she gave a lot in the midst of her pregnancy. And you didn't see her miss a beat or sweat. So there's really no excuse for Eva, in my opinion. She's been pregnant on this show twice. And in my opinion, when it comes to pregnancy storylines and reality TV, 2 strikes, you're out. 2 babies, you're out. You're born to me, I write you off. Also, I think the main thing that really interests about Eva is that her conflict that she's having with Kevin McCall. Now, granted, to me, sometimes it feels like she could be kind of gaslighting him to do some crazy shit because that man is just out of whack. Like, he is on the same level of craziness as Brandy Norwood, in my opinion. And I just feel like, yes, we want to know the mess behind that relationship, but that nigga is something so crazy to the point where I think it would be best to not even mention his ass at all. And I do not fault her for not filming at her house. I mean, I would at least say film inside the bitch. Like, we don't have to see outside or know the exact location, but like, we want more of a peek into your life, especially while you're pregnant, because you haven't been able to deliver anything, and therefore Bravo has left her off of a lot of the episodes towards the end, and a lot of people, including myself, have forgotten that she's even on the show. So hopefully she can get it together. Maybe once she drops that baby, she can start beefing with Marlo again. That's another thing. I know that she wanted to kind of preserve her pregnancy and not be involved in too much stress and drama amidst that. But you can't just walk away from Marlo every single time she has something slick to say. Marlo's the type of bitch that you have to get together, like right then and there, and she will leave you the fuck alone. Because Marlo may be quick-witted and have some like reads for herself, but in the grand scheme of things, Marlo's not a reader. So Eva can easily get her together. She did it on the Tokyo trip. So don't run away from conflict with Marlo because she's an easy read, in my opinion. Moving on to Long, we're going to get into Tanya Sam. Now, Tanya to me was a great addition. I love her energy, it really radiates through the screen. I love her kitchen. We got to see a peek in her house earlier this season, and that kitchen is just fucking immaculate. Like, goals. But to me, Tanya is a little delusional. I'm sorry. I mean, say what you want about the crackheaded cookie lady. Her quote unquote husband was entertaining her and got her number. And that's another thing I have a gripe with. Like, ladies, you have to stop calling these niggas your husband when you do not have a ring. Like, that nigga could die today and you won't have shit to show for that relationship but a wet ass and maybe a few bucks and some change. But Tanya, I feel like she claims to be 100% happy, and to me, it kind of comes off as she's trying to convince herself that she's currently happy being engaged to a man for 8 years, which I feel like she needs to put her foot down for what she wants because these niggas will give you anything to shut your ass up, and if it works, they will let it ride until the damn wheels fall off. So I really want to see Tanya beefed up if she's gonna continue to stay on this show. Like we need to know more about her backstory, like her family life. Get into her like visiting her family in Canada if they still live there, and I really just want to know more about her instead of just like her stepping in, serving a look, and being happy all the time like a bag of Cheerios. All right, so moving on to Marlo Stolen Clothes Hampton. Marlo, I feel like she deserves a peach. I feel like she's been around of the way long enough to where it would feel weird if she wasn't a part of the cast. Now, to me, I feel like she kind of got a little complacent though because she's really just the resident sidekick to either Nene or Kenya. She was Kenya's sidekick when Nene was gone that one season. I believe that was season 9. Which, in my opinion, was the best season of the Real Housewives, and Nene's ass was not on there, but I digress. I feel like Marlo could really. We need to dive deep into, like, for one, how she really got her money. Like, was she an escort? Was she dating Ted Turner? Did she win the lottery at one point? We don't know. But the only thing we know about her is that she comes and she serves a look and she shades people and leaves. But even like Tanya, in my opinion, kind of took over the fashionista role in regards to the housewives. Marlo really hasn't been serving looks. I mean, she's kind of gotten better, but the last 2 seasons, we were looking at her in these tight ass clothes that did not fit, these tattered ass wigs. Like, she just honestly was like getting complacent in her role and in the look on the show. But I feel like she has a lot to give that we haven't really dived into yet. And the main reason I believe that Andy hasn't given her a peach was not because of her millions of mugshots, but I think it was because she called Andy, basically alluded to him being a fag. And a little tidbit about me, I do not like that word. I hate that. I even cringe when I just said it. Like, I usually don't cringe when words are said, but like the word, the F word, I'm just like, I fucking hate it. Um, Moving on to Cynthia. Love her to death. Think she's crazy as shit, but she is like a joy to watch. Now, I will say the beautiful thing about Cynthia is she had training wheels when it comes to this reality TV shit, and her training wheels were Peter Thomas. And sidebar, Peter Thomas to me, in my opinion, is fine as shit. Like, Uncle Ben can fry these grits any day. But moving on along, I just feel like it's a beautiful that she has really found her voice and has asserted herself more, and I really do enjoy that, Cynthia. But she still struggles to like effectively check Kenya and Nene because both of them bitches need to be put down a peg whenever it comes to how they talk to and treat Cynthia. Like they literally walk all over her, and Cynthia allows it. No more of that shit. We want to see Cynthia boss up on one of them hoes. Let's see. I do like Cynthia's relationship with Mike. I knew I witnessed them actually getting together because I used to follow Mike Hill's podcast on YouTube, which is called the Unstable Podcast. It was him, two other hosts, and Claudia Jordan. It's a great, very underrated podcast. You guys should check it out. I don't know if they're still making new episodes, but it's a really good watch and listen. But they met, to me, they met on that podcast, and I really want to see where the relationship is headed. I will say she could stay for like at least two more seasons. I mean, she's definitely gonna have that wedding next season. That's already a given. So she's already secured her peach. And then the season after that, we can like witness her like navigating this relationship with Mike Hill. To be honest with you guys, Mike Hill, he comes off as a good guy, but I feel like he's the type of nigga that's going to pull a bait and switch on Cynthia once they get past the aisle. Like Mark, he has this wholesome good guy image, but I see right through it, to be honest. Like he may be cool, but that is a nigga at the end of the day. And then you throw in his allegations, him cheating on his past two wives. It's just like, I mean, his ass is old enough to really have his shit together and not cheat on his wife today. But these niggas will surprise you. And in my opinion, 50 is the new 25. These 50-year-olds out here cutting the fuck up. So time will tell, but I'm actually interested into seeing what Cynthia has going on next. Moving on to ain't talking housewives, but I'm in a Portia. Portia Goodbody Williams. I feel like she is carrying the season with her and her fast engagement to the Ninja Turtle known as Dennis. I I was initially here for the relationship, but she just rushed in it way too soon and just had a baby like completely out of nowhere. And sidebar, does that baby always look kind of disappointing to y'all? Like that baby always just looks so disgusted with Portia. Like she just looks at her like, ugh, this bitch here. Like, why are you looking at me, girl? Like, go play with your man since you want to claim him. Like that's what she looks like to me. Like she just looks fed the fuck up. But I do like her storyline. I'm very interested in seeing where it goes, but she needs to give more than just him cheating on her and her taking him back. Like, we can't do another season of that. Like, you're gonna have to like either shit or get on the pot. Like, do you want to marry this nigga or do you want to just take your baby and move on and be happy? Because that's honestly what she needs to do. Because that nigga ain't gonna act right. He got on reality TV and he is just cutting the fuck up. Like this newfound fame has really gotten to his head and he does not know how to handle it and he is just fucking anything that comes its way. And I believe he is still cheating on her too. I don't care what anybody says, she is still getting cheated on. Moving on to Candy. Candy, to me, I idolize and look up to. I think Candy is a genius in music. I mean, her voice is it's an acquired taste, but she has made strides in music. She has made strides in overall virtual business, the sex toy industry, and the restaurant industry. Like, I don't know how she ever finds time to go to sleep. And then she's factoring in two more babies. She has Ace, and then she has this daughter on the way. I really don't know why she felt the need to kind of basically start over. But I mean, when you're rich, who gives a fuck? It's just she's not, in my opinion, gonna have the time to invest into these kids like she invested into that sassy librarian known as Riley. Um, the only thing, my main gripes with Candy is anytime she is out of a storyline, in walks Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce literally saves the day and saves them from not having a check from this Bravo show. But I will say, what Candy could do is really dive more into like the dynamics of her family relationship with Todd, Kayla, and Riley, because I feel like they are not a cohesive family unit. Like they're all just living under one roof, just cohabitating. Nobody really gets along. Nobody really talks to each other like that. They treat Kayla like she is just like a villain, in my opinion. They treat her like shit. I don't know why her and Riley don't get along at all. I would love for them to dive into that. And it would be nice if we could see Candy and the gang sit down with Iyanla Vanzant and really just go through their family issues because they are just not a cohesive unit at all, and there's a lot of shit going on that they have not put on camera. Moving on to Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore. Kenya, in my opinion, is carrying this whole entire season. I gotta give it to her, but at the same time, she came in and now she's just like Krusty the Krab. Like, she is getting her ass roasted up in all forms of directions. If she's not beefing with Kenya, she's beefing with Mark. If she's not having issues with Mark, she's having issues with Marlo. Like, everybody is like has their foot on her neck. And granted, some of it is very warranted because Kenya is a shikster and she likes to keep up shitty mess. That's what Kenya does. Kenya Moore, her beef with Tanya, I felt like it went way further than it needed to. I understand that we're on a reality show. We need to keep up the mess and the storyline. But it felt like she was just waiting for Tanya to step out of line and do something that she didn't like so she can, like, roast her. That's what Kenya does. Kenya waits for a moment to grasp on somebody and hurt their feelings, or she looks for a moment to, like, start a storyline with some shit. Like, she kind of started that shit in the beginning with Eva, for example. Eva said a few words that Kenya did not like, and then Kenya just off and goes for the jugular. That's what she does. And I understand it's a show. There's money to be made, but it's just like, girl, not everything needs to just go so far to the next extent. Like, some shit could just be left for what it is. But you leave it to Kenya to just push shit further than it needs to be. As I stated before, I do not like Mark. Mark is a fucking asshole. If you watch The Handmaid's Tale, Mark is a commander. That's what he is. That's the energy that he gives. He talks to her and treats her like a damn dog. And it's just like, why did you even bother getting with this lady? Like, why did you even marry her? You don't like her at fucking all. Like, and the main thing that pisses me off, like, I didn't like Mark before he even got on screen. Because he's the main reason that Kenya had to sit out season 10. And that was because he didn't want her on, he didn't want to be a part of a reality show. But at the same time, Kenya's been on this fucking show for damn near 6 seasons. You knew who the fuck she was. You knew what she brought to the table. And you knew what she did for a living. She's a reality star. So you knew when you got with her, you were going to end up on the show. So I don't know why he acts like he is so surprised and just so against reality TV when you got with a bitch that makes her almost her entire income off of being on reality TV. And I can't even shade Bravo because they pay very well, even though they're about to cut all these girls' checks. I don't even blame them, especially with Atlanta, because they haven't given us shit for a while. Her and Portia also, in my opinion, have the same storyline, which is crazy. I feel like her and Portia really always could have been best friends from the very beginning. I think what really fucked up them two was they were being pit against each other from the very beginning. Like, they were brought in as the newbies, and they were both trying to basically outshine each other so they can, in order to get a peach. I mean, but granted, it worked out for the both of them. I mean, they're both still here to this day, and they've amassed a good wealth from this show. Kenya, her beef with Nene is absolutely fucking pointless. Granted, I can blame Nene more because Nene is the one that eggs the shit on. But her beef with Nene is literally Cardi B and Nicki Minaj 2.0. Nene is Nicki Minaj. Kenya is Cardi B. They're both fighting over an invisible crown at this point. I mean, the true queen of this show really is Candy. I mean, Candy got on this show and really just springboarded like a shit ton of platforms to where nobody could really shit on her when it comes to wealth and having businesses and being business savvy. But Kenya, I just, hopefully next season, if Nene's gonna be around, I really hope they move past this beef. It's tired, it's through and delayed. We don't want to fucking see it. If anything, Kenya has a lot of common with both Portia and Kenya. It would be nice seeing them three all be on the same page. But granted, somebody has to be in conflict, so that's probably never gonna fucking happen. And lastly, I want to bring it to Nene Leakes. Now, Nene, we gotta give it to Nene. She was the original HBIC of this show. And I understand why Nene acts the way she does. I mean, back in 2010, Real Housewives of Atlanta was like the first major reality show to really come out of Atlanta and take the world by storm. Nene was the instant star and underdog of that show. So in turn, mixed in with her getting gigs in Hollywood and being like among like real people, like real actors in Hollywood, her head got big. And I understand why it did because of those factors I just said. Nene, to me, I think she coasts on too much of what she did in the fucking past and not focusing on what she's doing in the future. I mean, yeah, Swag Boutique is cute, but honestly, if we're not going to parlay Swag Boutique into like a Vanderpump Rules type of show, we don't really fucking care. Like, I'm sorry, girl, that's just what it is. We don't care. If anything, she really needs to really bring more of like her actual authentic personal life into the show, which I kind of see she's doing with Greg. But what she's doing with Greg right now, which is putting their open relationship on Front Street, in my opinion, it feels a little forced. And it feels like she's trying to play catch up. Like she's trying to play catch up for the fact that she was off damn near 6 episodes this season. And the fact that, like, when she was on screen this season, she really hasn't delivered a storyline besides her bitching about Kendi to Wendell Williams. That's all she's really given this season. And she just keeps up mess with Kenya in order to get more camera time in the storyline. And at this point, Nene should not have to carry on beef with somebody to get a storyline across. Like, why can't we get into her beef with Bryson's baby mama? Give Bryson a storyline. Bryson can use some money. What else is that nigga doing besides sleeping in that 2012 Dodge Charger that she bought him, or sleeping on her baby mama's couch, even though she keeps bitching about him? Like, we don't know much about Nene's family besides that she's just beefed out with all of them. I mean, it would be cute to see her like mend fences with her sister, or come to terms and strengthen her relationship with her mother if she's still living. There's so much that Nene could really give, but she chooses to stay guarded, and I can't really blame her. But at this point, Nene, it's like it's either shit or get off the pot, girl. We're tired of seeing you. You're not giving us shit. We could only see you argue with Kenya for how many times long before we're just like, okay, what else are you bringing to the table? Like, you can't keep relying on the shit that you did in the past and not give us something to look forward to in the present. I like Nene. She's a cool ass chick. I believe she's cool outside of the show. But Nene, like, you and this I'm this girl attitude and this grandiose, like, ego that she's built, like, it's just not relatable anymore. Like, we like relatable Nene. We like yuck mouth Nene. We like bowl cut Nene. That's the Nene that we go up for. We like the Nene that was like, she wasn't quite there, but she was getting there. And granted, it's nice to see that she's elevated at this point, but a lot of it feels not really genuine because besides Swag Boutique, outside of the Housewives, we don't really see her doing shit else. And hopefully, when she comes back next season, she could come to us with something that we could digest better. Mainly, like, I would say her storyline with Greg. I mean, I personally only want to see like 3 or 5 episodes about that, and then that be on that. She needs to move on to something else. Bring in your family members, girl. We want to see the mess. I'm probably gonna start doing reviews on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's kind of late in the season, so I may wait till next season, or I may just review the reunions. But moving forward, that's my views on the Real Housewives. I feel like, me personally, I would say Eva can go. Nene can go. Who else can go? Cynthia, give her 1 or 2 more seasons and then she can go. And then I feel like we can keep Candy, Kenya, Marlo, and Tanya and bring in 2 new girls. And that'll be the cast that we will need that will help carry this franchise to a more defined future. Because right now, in my opinion, they could cancel this show and I really wouldn't miss it. Like, they've had a good run at this point. Like, everything has been done to death. We've seen every storyline, every scenario, and every beef possible that we could get out of these girls. And it's time for some fresh blood. It's time for some new storylines. It's time for a new girl to come up off of this show. Like, spread the wealth. Like, at this point, a few of them are being greedy, i.e., Nene Leaks and Cynthia and Candy. But I say one or two more seasons of this shtick, and then we just need to clean house and have a new cast. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Again, this is straight off the cuff, and I'm going to be posting more content, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.